Ruto and Museveni, governors, distinguished guests, wananchi yote hamjambo, Usaururu, Umor, Will, Ushiek, Erukamana. Your Excellencies, feel welcomed here in Ramogiland. I am very delighted to have opportunity to speak here before my two brothers. I talked to my brother William Ruto. I told him that there's something very special that is being celebrated here. That what is called Paybill. At this time they've invited people from all over Eastern Africa, from DRC, Uganda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Tanzania. And it would be a very good idea if we could invite our neighbor to come and join us. He told me I'm going to call him. And he called him, and Yoweri agreed to come to be with us here today on the 2nd, just one day after the New Year, when he should be with his families in Uganda. This is a great honor that we don't take for granted. And it also shows a good neighborliness, a neighbor who comes to you at the time of need. So we are happy. We, Kenya and Uganda, we are brothers. We, of course, have the artificially created borders, which were drawn somewhere in Berlin, where none of our forefathers were represented. Now we become hostage to these borders, artificial borders. They have divided their people across countries. Here you see you have got the Karamojong there and the Turkana. You've got the Pokot in Kenya and Uganda. You've got the Sibei and the Sabaot. You've got the Bukusu and the Vagishu. You've got the Samia, Kenya, and Samia, Uganda. And then you've got, of course, the Luos here, the Luos in Uganda, and so on and so forth. So we have been hostage to these borders, which were created artificially, which have divided our people. And our view is that these borders, we don't need to become impediments to cooperation and working together. This gathering here is not political. It's just cultural, to bring people together, people who share common culture. Because Waswahili wanasema ati mwachamila ni mtumwa. So this is how you develop culture. Culture cannot be static. Culture is dynamic and moves as society grows. And we were able here, you have seen when we were here. And we had people from Ethiopia. The representative of the king of the Ruto in Ethiopia came here with his team and showed us how they do, what they do, which some of which are different, and what we share in common together. We have the Padola also speaking here. The Acholi were here. The Alur, and so on, even the Luos of Tanzania. So this is a good reunion. And this is not a reunion of politics. We don't talk politics here. Where you live is your country. When you're in Kenya, you're a Kenyan. When you're in Uganda, you're a Ugandan, and so on and so forth. But this also actually emphasizes the need for African unity. Because we have become hostage to the borders which were imposed by the colonialists for a long time. And we really think that it is time now to actualize the dreams of the founding fathers of the African Union. If you look at what was being said at Addis Ababa at that time, everybody was talking about African Union now, most of the people. But then there was those who were saying, no, let us be gradual. There were the gradualists and the ones who wanted it to be immediate. And that's where, for example, Mwalimu Nyerere differed with Kwame Nkrumah. But now, 61 years later, Mwalimu himself came and said that he thinks Nkrumah was right, they were wrong. But we need now to begin to look at how can we unite Africa. One of it is the issue of migration. People moving from one country to another country. Make it easier for people to move. Second one is trade. Inter-African trade is only at 15%. Inter-European trade stands at 70%. Inter-Asian trade stands at 60%. Africa trades more with the external world than with itself. This is something that we need to correct. And then, as Jima said, let us open our borders so that people can move freely from one side to the other side. This, in my view, will help a lot. We are at the shrine of Ramogi. This is where the first Luos who came here settled, led by Ramogi. This is nearly 800 years ago. And they were led by Ramogi. They settled on top of the hill. There were Bantus who were living around here. They did not fight because there's a lot of land. They were able to graze their cattle and their neighbors. And they started intermarrying. Those who are called the Jokajok. In Acholiland they are called the Pajok. The second group that came 250 years later, the second group, the Kowin, came from the Padola, and came also to the same migration corridor and joined here. Or he joined. They also came to Ramogi. The third group, 100 years later, came from the Alur. They are called the Ajokumolu. Then they called them Paimol. Who came here. The final group that came, the Wanga group, which also came here. So now the Luo of Kenya are basically a hybrid society from different sections of the Luo here, and they've also intermarried with the Bantus they found here. When they came here, they were tall. If you look at colonial literature, the Nilotic, tall, slender, and dark-skinned. And then they said Bantu, short, brown, stout, thick lips, and round nose. Then now they intermarried. The marriage brought the Luos a little bit down and raised the Bantus also here up. And the Luos also became light-skinned, now not very, very dark like they were when they came here. So it's a hybrid community. And this is very good. Now here, the people here are fishermen. But when they were coming, they were pastoralists. They lost their cattle here, they came here through epidemics, tsetse fly also, rinderpest. Then they now took to fishing and farming around the lake here. So, Your Excellency, I don't want to make a long speech here. I want to really say that today is a great day for our people here, that you have been able to come and sit with us here today. With us, words and meals here today. So we thank you very much. And now, without much ado, it is now my humble pleasure to invite my brother, William Samoei Ruto, to come and welcome our visitor.